Hey, so this video is just going to be the very quick get started guide. So pretty much just getting your AI. We're going to start with your outbound appointment setter that's going to be calling your leads to book appointments. This video is just going to be the first steps of getting it live, and then after that, there's going to be videos for a few more advanced things in building the assistant and that sort of thing. But what we're going to be going over is just the assistant's prompt. And then we're also just going to be going over setting the automations up so the AI can send calls out automatically. And then also just some things like little things like billing and stuff like that. So the first thing we're doing is inside your own CRM, whether it's our CRM, your CRM, it's pretty much just go high level, right, on the side here. But what we've added in is our AI caller. So this is our own app that we've added in here. An important thing, just straight off the bat, is in Go High Level, if you haven't set up your business profile already, just make sure you've got that set up. And the time zone here is very important because that's going to be the main time zone that the AI is going to be referring to when it's actually booking appointments. So just come in here and do, your business address and stuff like that for billing purposes. Then one thing as well is just in My Staff, you can add in your staff if you haven't already as well. They're going to be used on the calendar for checking availability. And then I've just clicked on it and gone to assistants, and here's going to be some 3 pre-made assistants for you. So the first one's going to be an appointment setter. The second one's going to be for inbound customer support. And the third one is for if people have booked appointments, they're going to get reminded, AI is going to call them to give them a reminder that the appointment's in an hour, for example. Today, all we're going to be doing is getting through the outbound setter and just setting up that's prompting first. So if we click on this one, it's going to be a template, right? So yours will look like this, and we're going to start off with the identity on just who they are, what they are, like an appointment setter, and then of course you're going to fill in what your business name is here, and pretty much just that it's jobs to connect with leads, to converse, qualify, and book an appointment. Also just adding a little bit extra there, on what it does, like asking questions or conversationally, and staying on track, and don't let the person on the other end of the phone, who's called the user, to pretty much take you off topic or anything like that. So this is fully customizable, right? So you can come in here and you can change them from an appointment setter to an expert consultant. You can change their name. You can just say what their job is. If the job isn't this, come in and change it. This isn't something that's super touchy where if you delete things, it's just going to all of a sudden break and not work. There is a lot of freedom in here where you can play around and add in what you want. You could delete all the personality traits if you wanted to. You can always just add on extra things as well here and there, wherever you want. After that, of course, the identity, we do come into the personality traits. I've just got a few in there. And then the style guardrails, I'm not going to change at all. These are pre-made pretty much that I would use in every single assistant. Here, I wouldn't add anything or delete anything. And then you just get the previous call history. And the previous call history is just, we can show you in the automations, but it's just a custom field that says this is what happened in the last call. So that's going to be put into each person, but that would get filled here uniquely for each call. When you start adding in some things about your company is here in company overview. So I've just got a few pre-made ones like the business name. You can put the business name in, where you're located, who you serve, anything you want the AI to know. Of course, you can just come in here, add in a few extra dot points like that, and you can add them in like that. The double hashtag, by the way, is a heading. So that makes company overview obviously a bigger font for the AI to read, so it sees it as more important as a new heading. And of course, you got the goal of the call here. If your goal of the call is different, just come in and change it. FAQs, on your business, any sort of questions that they might ask or answers, you can put in here as well. But also, if you feel like you don't need it, you can just get rid of it. It's completely up to you. Important call guidelines. So I put the appointment would take place on, Zoom, for example. You put Zoom, Google Meet, user's address, for example. I also have in here, if they ask if it's AI, what you can say. You can say yes, or you can say yes and be funny, anything like that. This is just if you reach a voicemail, call, which just means use end call tool to hang up immediately. We've got the disqualification protocol if there's anything that makes them not a qualified prospect that the AI might ask them. You can put in here, for example, you could put not a homeowner if it's solar or something like that. Now, when we get into tasks, there's going to be steps. So the first step's greet. The second one's set agenda. We'll start with greet at the very beginning. This is just a custom field. And what it is it's the unique stuff for each person. But in this case, the custom field is going to be the same because if you click on dynamic greeting, there's outbound here. So what you'd pretty much say, what I like to start with is, hey, is this, and I'm actually going to add in another custom field. Hey, is this contact dot first underscore name, which is a custom field in Go High Level, which brings up the person's name if they're in your contacts. So if you have someone that's called Bob in your contacts and the AI calls them, the AI is going to say, hey, is this Bob? Because it knows their name because they're in your contacts there. Now, if we go into outbound, we can say, hi, this is Emily. How can I help? For example, if you put that in there, then if the AI is calling someone, this is what's going to be said first. But if the AI gets called, they're going to say this. And now the second thing is when they reply, say, yes, it is John, for example, we can add in here what we tell the AI to do next in the next step of setting their agenda. So you could say, tell the user you've seen they filled out a form on Facebook regarding, we'll do solar as an example, solar at their home. Ask if now is a good time to chat. Like you could say something just simple like that where you're instructing the AI on what to do. Then if they say, yeah, now's a good time to chat, for example, it's going to go into step 3. Now, step 3, we can say, ask if they have solar already. Conversationally, ask their user if they have solar already installed at their home. What we can do then from there is we can add in like scenarios based on what they've replied back. So we could say if user has solar, ask if they are interested in a battery. If user doesn't have solar, go to next step. So these are like kind of A/B responses, right? From what they say to what the AI can say next before going to the next step. Now, the next step could be power bill size. And then you could say, conversationally ask the user how much their power bill costed last month. Actually, we probably should have asked this in step 3, but I'll just put it here anyway because this is just a practice one. Confirm homeowner. Conversationally ask the user if they're the owner of the home they inquired about. Just something like that. Now, everything else is just going to be done for you. Of course, let's say you had something else in here that you wanted to ask, like you can make a step 6 and change this to like 7 and 8 and so on. But I just want to make this like a quick fire build so we can get the AI live. And then from there, that's when we can go into more videos that actually teaches how to add a bit more on and go a bit more advanced. But we just want to get it done simply starting out. So all it's doing now is just asking them if they want to do an appointment over Zoom. Of course, you can update this if this isn't how you do the appointments or whatever. And then it's going to book the appointment. So it's just telling the AI to get available times and present them to the user. Once the user has agreed to a time, book an appointment. Last thing is just tell the user we'll send an email confirmation, thank them for their time, wish them a good day, use tool and call to hang up. So that's just a simple prompt, right? And you can come in here and do all the customizations up here, remove anything you think is unnecessary, add in anything else as well. Like if you had something like products, if there's anything you want the AI to have knowledge on. But with this AI here, we're just not going to dive into the knowledge base yet. We're just pretty much just got it set up quickly so that everything would be in the prompt and we can build from this prompt. But that's just a good starting guide. You can come into the voice lab here and start a practice call with the AI. Hello.
Hi there. I saw you filled out a form on Facebook about solar for your...
So like that's how you can actually test the AI in terms of voices as well. Just keep in mind that the AI can't use tools or book appointments. So custom fields are classed as tools too. So like the greeting, it won't be able to use. If we even just had this as like, hey, is this contact first name? Like the AI wouldn't be able to say their name here, for example. Also, things it can't do is like book appointments, see available times it won't be able to do, or anything like that. The voice lab's just a surface level testing. Of course, you can actually test the AI live if you call the number. I'm assuming you would have already gotten a number from us, but if you want to get a number from us, just reach out to us via email. The only other things we need to do is we can go and do the post-call webhook. Now, I like to have a second tab open for this, so I'll just open a second tab. Now, on this second tab, we can just go into automation and click on Orbital AI and AI voice. we can jump straight into this workflow, which if we go into the drip campaign, which is the one above, it's pretty much just adding this tag in to drip them into this workflow. And all we need to do here, everything's set up for you, and we can get into exactly how that every workflow works in the automation videos. But all you need to do is, the first thing is just inserting the assistant ID. So if we go into the other tab, you can just copy the assistant ID here, and you can paste that straight into here. That just means that this assistant's going to be calling. And also when I was showing you this previous call history here, you can see that that's custom variable 1. So it's just going to be a call summary, which is also another custom field there, which we can explain a bit more in another video as well. But as long as you've got the right assistant ID in here, this workflow would be good to go, and you can publish it. Everything else is already pre-made for you. And that's just initiating the call and checking the call times, like just as long as it's in regulation with normal call times, etc. The next thing is call data, which is where we're going to grab the post-call webhook. So if we just zoom in, this is just determining how the call went for what to do. So like if it was a no answer, it's going to be sending them to the follow-up calls as well and updating the pipelines. Once again, I'll go into a bit more depth in how the workflows work in the future videos, but for now, we just want to get you set up. So what we're going to click on is trigger. Now, I already did a test one on here, but if we just copy this URL here and you paste it into the post-call webhook, it's going to say status received there. And then you click on this, it would normally only have just the one option, and you can click on that. And that's just saving the data, collecting the data from the call to then add them into the correct pipeline, follow up with them automatically and stuff like that. So we can also make this one go live as well. And that's all you need to do for the post-call webhook side of things. Lastly is just follow-up calls. Once again, we want to make sure we have the ID saved, because what we want to do in follow-up calls is just insert the assistant ID again. Oh, I copied the wrong thing. And if we make that go live, then that is good to go as well. What the follow-up calls are right now is if they don't answer, it's going to wait 2 hours and call. If they don't answer, wait 20, don't answer, wait 44, and then 77. So there's 5 total calls in the default workflow, where 2 on the same day, 1 the next day, 2-day wait, and 3-day wait. Of course, it's always going to make sure the calls are done within legal call times. So it's 9 to 8, Monday to Friday, or 9 to 5, Saturday. We have a half an hour buffer there as well. But the workflows I'll get into in that video. That's pretty much the AI fully set up for you in terms of how it's going to work and everything like that. That'll be the future videos. The last thing as well is if we are in the AI caller, actually, you just want to make sure that the tools are turned on. Now, I'll normally have on update user details where it's actually can update the information in the CRM. These are just all booking ones here where it can get availability, book appointments, etc. It can also create tasks in the CRM and create notes in CRM. How all this works is just going to go into another video. There's no harm in just turning this on and getting it ready to go, so that then once everything, like in the future videos, all it is just customization rather than any like core important setup components. The last thing is if you do have a calendar, you can go in the calendars over here and set up a calendar, or you might already have one because it's under your own Go High level. But once you've got your calendar set up, you can just link it straight in how I showed you there. So if we go back into the assistants, it'll just pop up your calendars here and you can click on your calendar. And that's pretty much all the important details in terms of getting the AI ready to go. Next things would just be in settings, in billing, you can add balance in here. So by adding the balance, that's just gonna allow you to get voice minutes. You can open it in a new tab like this and just pay for a wallet recharge. Then what's most important is that after you've paid, you do have automatic payment turned on. So if you have that turned on, that will be something that opens in a new tab, pretty much just saving the card on file. And let's say I save the card on file. So what that's going to do is when the voice minutes get below $10, for example, you can refill your wallet with however much you want and save the changes there. So that's just going to make sure that if your balance gets below 0, that the AI is not going to stop working. It's just going to refill your wallet. Next thing is, of course, if you are under your own Go High level, you might have billing already set up. But if you're under our Go High level or you've just made a new account, just make sure you have a payment method added in here. If you do have your own account, you don't need to rebill yourself. So you can just put this in pretty much only if you're under our own Go High level, under like Orbitel AI, Oplexe Digital's Go High level. Under your own, it's fine to leave that. But that's pretty much the very basic steps on setting up your assistant. And in future videos, we can dive deeper into like tools, automations, calendar, even just the pipeline of like when the calls finish, of course, how to send out calls in the first place. All that will be in future videos. This is just going to be the quick start guide on actually getting your assistant ready to go. So after this video, you should have had the billing set up. Your automations should have all been published in the AI voice folder. And then under your assistants, you should just have all this, none of it's any blank things like this, the X, Y, Z, and that. It should either just be deleted or filled in with your information. Just adjust any of the necessary things and just making sure that tasks is good here. You can do some practicing in the voice lab, or you can call the AI from the number that you'll have here set up. Of course, if you have no number here, reach out to us and we can get you a number. But that's just pretty much everything to get started in this very first video. And then from here, we can branch out and continue building on our assistants.